Welcome to my channel. So a new discovery, a funny little story that has just recently happened to me. Let's just get right to it, guys. I am currently on the job market. I have recently lost my job, and it was no fault of my own. It is due to the fact that my job was eliminated. So the company I was working for ended up letting people go. Whatever reasons, I'm not going to dwell on it. The current situation is I am where I am, and I need to get a job. Nice thing for me is that I fit in a two-world position. I fortunately enough for me, for a long period of time, I was in manufacturing. I was a quality engineer, quality management, and did a lot of quality type activities. Even before that, I was a manufacturing engineer, so it made me more of a well-rounded person. So I was in supplier quality, part quality, plant quality, which is part of part quality. I've been on every end of it, which is a great experience. And interesting thing about me and my situation was I had a great manager who I worked for at 2 jobs ago, and he ended up leaving for a whole nother industry outside of automotive. Actually, it was at Kia, then I moved to Mercedes-Benz. I got a phone call from my previous boss who had said, "Hey, why don't you come work in the industry with me?" And this was a complete change. So I went from automotive to phones. I ended up going to work for Samsung. 6 years later, I no longer have that job. It was a great 6 years, learned a whole lot, and taught me product planning, management, product marketing, planning. There's different worlds of realms of it, and we were working towards becoming category managers. And in that, being a category manager, it would be front to end, launch to birth or death, or EOL, not necessarily death. A lot of new language I had to learn with this company, and I still was learning 6 years later. So I'm dual capable, so I can go towards the product planning side of the house, and I can also go towards the quality management side of the house. That's where I stand. Short and simple, not my fault, but I was still out of a job, and there's nothing I'm gonna do that's gonna change that. I'm here where I'm at now. Let me give you a timeline. So where I'm at, I'm just over 2 weeks. I have spent 2 weeks since being let go and being currently still looking for a job. And I'll tell you what I've done is I've gone quickly and just tried to attack as many jobs as I can. First thing I did is I built myself a pretty good resume. I say pretty good is and I will tell you this too, the other supportive animal in this whole deal is that I've been using AI as to the best that I can. I will tell you this though, AI is a double-edged sword. It can be a great tool to help you, but it also can be something that can get you into some trouble. You got to be careful. Don't put some stuff in there, into the resume, and then let AI write it and then not read it and proofread it and double check it, and then come to find out that you're an expert at XYZ when you have no idea what XYZ is, right? There are certain things where it will take some liberties on its own to make you sound better than what you really are. AI is like that cute little puppy dog. It always wants to please you and always wants to give you the good thing. What I try to employ into a lot of my AI prompts is some correctiveness, some control. I tell it not to guess, not to be a yes man. I literally write stuff to that effect. Don't try to appease me. If it's not there, don't make it up. What I am going to show you is a couple of things that I'm doing right now, and you're going to get a peek into what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I update my resume to make it more modern, elite style. I made a couple different variations of it. I've modified it for each job that I'm looking at. And I'll explain that here in a little bit when I get to where I'm going on this. And the cool thing about it is that I've got this AI process that I'm using through Gemini, and it's really cool. And I will tell you is that there is a location in which I got it, and I got it from a YouTuber, and I'm going to try and find it here real quick for you so I can show it to you. It is about to play. There we go. There it is right there. So among the millions of tabs across the top, that's all my job searching and other things that I'm doing and looking at. But this gentleman here, Peyton Bilodeau, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, has the one prompt you can enter into ChatGPT to end your ChatGPT frustration. How many times have you put in something in your prompt because you probably didn't know initially and you do know now, is to make sure that it's explicitly clear on what you're asking for. Sometimes you don't know how to ask. This is a prompt that you build that asks you and then tells you how it's going to build it and then builds it for you. This is what I use. I want to give credit to where credit is due, but basically what it does is it tells you that you want it to deconstruct, diagnose, develop, and then deliver through 2 operating modes, either detail mode or basic mode. In short, what do you want to use? ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or others. These optimize for frameworks or possibilities that you want to do. In my case, I'm going to edit it to where I don't want basic. I want detail mode, where it will pose 2 or 3 precise, clarifying questions for deeper thought, and then deliver an extensive, comprehensive prompt optimization. I went in there and I told it to do something related to being a great recruiter, I told it to go take the job description that I'm looking at, analyze it, and then give me criteria 1 through 10 of how this job would fit, and then give me an overall score. Also give me suggestions. I asked it to modify, adapt, or whatever to anything else that I haven't myself put in there. It added one thing in there that I didn't expect, but it did say at the very end, because I have 2 resumes. I have 2 different pronged attack, the product planning side of the house and the quality management side of the house. I want it to pick which resume, which would be A or B, and then tell me how should I modify that resume. And I didn't ask it to do that. It thought about doing that. So once again, you go take a look at this guy. I'll put the link to this video because it's actually on one of my systems here. And I'll show you here. Hold on, I know why. I'm in full screen. Okay, there we go. So right here, see? And this is the video link. I'll put this down below in the description, but it walks through everything. I have other prompts too, like the master prompt and how to AI prompt and all that kind of stuff. I've got tools that I'm looking at. This is my TickTick program, but I'm switching over to a ClickUp, which is another tool that I'm using, and I will show you this. This, after I went into Gemini, which is in this other screen. Let me slide this over here so I don't. Right here. This is my Gemini section. I do my prompting it. So I go to my Gemini, and I do have the Pro version, so I'm using that. But what I've done is I've gone over here and I've told it to take 2 of my resumes, which I've embedded already, and I've told it to go in there and give it certain scores related to, again, this is the one I'm using for this video, so it's a made-up target of like 138,000. 10 out of 10 if it meets. And I decided to use the area in which I live as a comparison. I live in the city of Sandy Springs, so I just figured that would be a good comparison. So I've gone in there and I've told it to take this analysis, and then when I actually do employ this, I'm going to tell it to look at other factors, but most importantly, nearest Banana Republic. And my wife works in retail, so I just figured I use Banana Republic as an example. I'm looking to stay in the current home. If it's around here, it's only her, and I figured I'd downsize to about a 1,700 square foot. Nearest international airport, Summer Beach is nearby. I think local's okay with the number of miles. They'd rather go to the ocean. I do have a Jeep Wrangler, so I want to know if there's any trails nearby. We like the H Mart, where it has a lot of Asian groceries, so I want to know if there's anyone nearby where my job location is. Then it added all this to strategic verdict. Should I go yes, no, maybe, and gives me an answer. And then resume tailoring strategy. So it's really cool. So this is the whole prompt, and then it pastes your target here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come up here, and it's through Markdown, so I'm just going to hit copy. I'm going to jump over here. I'm going to paste it in here. And then you see at the very bottom down here, it's going to ask me to paste the job description. So I have one up here. So let's just say as an example, Food Lion in Savannah, Georgia, a produce manager. Food Lion is a grocery store. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to go ahead and take this and copy it all the way down to about here. And I know that this is, and you're going to see this the first time with me. So now I'm going to highlight this, paste it in there, and hit go. Now here's the cool thing about it. It takes about 30 seconds to do this evaluation. I've timed it 2 or 3 different times testing it. So what's really cool is testing it with this raw data. We're going to figure out my salary expectations. I think it's going to be way too high for this position, but it's a funny test number. In Savannah, are there certain factors or areas? Boom, there it is. So check this out. An overall fit score of 3.2 to 10. So actually, funny, assigned role, category, none. Superficial words, but actually retail grocery manager. So it's got like a superficial kind of match, but it's not really there. What resume should I use? Neither A nor B. I know what it's going to tell me now. If it says neither A or B, it means either make a new one, or it's going to tell me, oh, hell no, don't even apply. Overall fit score, 3.2 out of 10. Experience alignment, 1. Complete domain misalignment. While you have over 15 years of world-class automotive quality engineering and mobile hardware category management, and it likes to also say that category management, that's where we were leaning, but wasn't really a category manager fully at that extent at the time. So this is a produce, fresh fruits and vegetables, retail role, salary alignment. And what's really cool is I told it to go in there and say, hey, listen, give me the salary, compare it to what I was looking for, which I said right now the plan target is 138. I just made that number up. But in short, I did say the salary that I'm requesting to what it offers. But if it doesn't offer, I need you to go in and research and tell me what this is going to usually come out as. salary wise? Is there another site that actually reports this job description and says what that actual salary is? Pull that all together and then give me a number. And it did. It gave me $43,000 annually, what it believes what that job is. And it says I produce a GA averages 20.75 per hour, which translates to roughly 43. It figured out what a produce manager in Savannah makes, which is right around $20.75 per hour. 43,000. This leaves a $95,000 deficit. Home ownership, negative relocation value. While Savannah's housing market is affordable compared to Atlanta, selling your home in Sandy Springs and relocating to the coast to take an extra 69% pay cut is financially unviable. This thing is telling me to go and find another job. Do not do this. Tech industry fits. The role is grocery retail, meaning it avoids my blacklisted software and medical sector. So it fits. Technically, it's a 10 out of 10. Extreme physical labor. The job description specifies standing 100% of the shift, wearing a standard Food Lion apron and name badge. Lifestyle amenities. Good local coastal vibe. Poor specialty amenities. Savannah offers historic charm. So then again, it comes back and gives me the deep dive portion of it. Nearest Banana Republic is the Telfair building, which is about 5 miles away from central Savannah. 1,700 square foot home is going to cost you around $320 to $340. It's not bad for that price point. Nearest international airport is Savannah. It's about 10 miles away. Those are the things I'm holding on to. Like, it found the Banana Republic, so whatever retail store plug in here, it's going to find that. That's good. I am truly looking for probably something related to the 1,700 square foot size home. So this is going to stay as it is. Salary will change. I do want the local international airport, which this is good. That'll work for me. The beaches, yes. The Jeep Wrangler thing, yes. And the nearest H Mart is in Atlanta, so it's about 250 miles away. I would like this. Yeah, apply. No, hard pass. Ain't no way. Do not apply. I love it. This is a classic title match search error where a system confused product, goods to technology and engineering with produce. So it's literally saying that the search AI for what I was looking at said, yeah, this is not right. Yeah, produce manager. Where did I find that? Is that down further? But there was the produce manager, something I was looking at to double check. Yeah, it's 50, and it doesn't say what the numbers are. But that's what I wanted to demonstrate to you, though, is the fact that it can go and look in there and give you a good evaluation on what it thinks the job should be, that you should be doing. So what I'm going to go look at as project engineer. All right, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to, now I want to test it, but once I get this done, I'm going to stop having to paste this whole thing in there and then go look for the job I'm looking for and see what it is that I'm looking to come away with as my next possible role. Now, I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to let it do its thing. And this should be a higher score that will hopefully allow a better alignment to what I'm looking for. And it'll give me something. Again, all I've got to do now is go in and adjust the salary, adjust a few other smaller items for my wife, but in the end all be all. So here we go. 8.1 out of 10. That's not a bad score. Assigned role categories: PM, project management, project planning. Target resume, use a resume A, which is my project or product management focus, with the heavy core manufacturing and tooling details from resume B spliced in. Experience alignment, 8 out of 10. Technically flawless, but seniority misaligned. On paper, your background is an unbelievable match. Casemate wants an engineer who can bridge global suppliers, manage product launch execution, and handle engineering documentation. Understand mobile accessory constraints. Your 6-year management phone tablet portfolio, 15 years. Yeah, title, project engineer title, and you are a perfect fit for the work itself. Significant salary deficit. I do see, yeah, that's probably, maybe I've overshot with the number. Again, a test number. I'm just trying to put stuff in there to see where we're at. Zero friction related to cost of living, because I still will be living where I live. Because honestly, this is a handful of miles from my house. This actually is interesting with the number that I'm looking at. Anyway, Casemate designs premium consumer mobility accessories. This fits perfectly within your preferred hardware technology. It moves away from bypassing the restriction of software and medical industry. High stability versus global travel. On the positive side, Casemate explicitly highlights its unique market stability, noting they have avoided major layoffs for over a decade. It says there's a large deficit related to the salary difference. That is correct. Yeah. I'm staying where I'm staying. We do know where the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. It's about 24 miles straight down. The nearest H Mart, know that it's in Doraville, correct. It's about 8 miles or so. Yes, but with up-level strategy. I like that. The company's exceptional local location and perfect industry crossover, mobile accessories and hardware, make it worth initiating a conversation. However, because your 15 years experience vastly exceeds their 2-year requirement, you cannot apply as a standard applicant. You must use their interview loop to position yourself as a senior leader capable of optimizing their global supplier launch infrastructure. This is where you have to be careful. AI is going to say that you are a rock star. So be careful. Entire global supplier launch infrastructure. Justifying a salary adjustment of up to, if you wanted to go to 140 or whatever. Deploy resume A, restructure your professional summary to highlight your dual expertise in mobile lifecycle management and physical manufacturing engineering. Pay attention, look at it, because I'm going to tell you this. If you're out in the job market and you're looking for the right job, the one thing I do notice is, let's go back, right? Let's just say I'm just going to click on this guy. You're going to look at this guy over here, and you're going to be like, hey, here's the benefits, here's the job description. You're going to pass over this vehicle processing center. Okay, I know all about that kind of stuff. Yeah, Glovis. Yeah, but then you're like, okay, there's all this. Then you're like, you need a high school diploma, bachelor's degree in supply chain, logistics management, or field, 6 years of supervisory experience, blah, 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 blah. You're like looking at all this, total reward, generous paid time off. The problem is you sitting here and looking at all of this is going to take time. Instead, you briefly peruse it and you're like, okay, this looks close to what I'm looking for. Copy, paste, put it in, let it do the detail reading and catch anything that you may have missed. But you simultaneously read what it's doing and read what it's outputting to make sure it works for you. And that's the one other thing that I like about this is now that I'm done here, I can also export this to Google Documents. And what it's going to do is it's going to throw it out to my Google Documents folder, and then it's going to show me like a senior quality manager I was looking at, process planning, quality engineer, all these things I was testing on, and it showed so well, so many features and so many things. Once you lock it into where you want it to be, it's done. It's going to be there, and you're going to have exactly what you want. At least have a standard criteria that you can get scores and say, okay, now I've looked at these 10 or 12. Here's where I stand. Here's what I have to do. I'm going to open the document, and there it is. Put it in this form. Maybe you want to print it up and put it out in a notebook. You have this evaluation, and of course you have the deep dive giving you more details of what you should do with that, and that is that single form. Take that and post it wherever you want to. Lock it in. I've applied to 14. I have phone screens for 2 companies, and I'm waiting to see if there's a next step moving forward. I'm waiting on the 14 to see if there's any further actions, and I'm still going to continue to do that moving forward. Unfortunately, it's the case of numbers. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. It is the case of numbers. Sometimes you have to go and put out twice as much than you'll get back. 3 times as much, 4 times as much. Yeah, it was funny is that when I did talk with my leadership in the old company or the company that I was let go from, I was the same, and I have different people, and like I said, there was that guy that hired me, but he wasn't my boss. In the end, we ended up going to different departments. We still worked in the same office, just in different departments, and I ended up working for a different set of people. And in short, every one of them was, man, this sucks, I'm so sorry. It wasn't personal, it wasn't you. And again, even through my boss was, yeah, my evaluations may not have been rock star level, but were very good. I was doing great. I just had a position eliminated, and having all that and being told that, it's still disheartening, right? That you're out there looking and trying to get yourself in a new position and having to do all this work. And I did tell him, I said, the biggest thing that I'm upset about, I'm fine with everything that I understand, but the biggest thing that upset me, that bothers me, and I know that anybody out there has a partner knows that it worries me about my wife, who's asked me a handful of times in the very beginning when this happened, are we going to be okay? Because here we are 2 weeks in and I'm not working. My last paycheck is probably going to be tomorrow, and then we're starting to live on credit cards and savings. Obviously savings first, then credit cards, while we hope and push and fight to get out there. What I'm trying to tell you is whether or not you're making $100,000 a year, you're making $50,000 a year, you're making $30,000 a year. And I will tell you guys this, I have made all those amounts throughout my lifetime. In all of that, having to do this search and find the next job and the next position and get involved, it is difficult and it is hard and it's heart-wrenching just looking and trying to keep that good, strong face with your wife or your partner, whoever, to say, hey, we're okay, it's all good, we're gonna make this is fine. But you yourself going, yeah, but what if, right? And I'm trying not to do the what if, and you need to try not to do the what if. Focus on trying to get yourself a job. This is hard. After a handful of days of staring at this screen, man, you get tired quick. You're looking at letters and numbers. The great thing is having AI to help you. I'll tell you this simple form. It might be worth getting the paid version of your AI, whichever your favorite AI is. If you are out of a job and you still have a little bit of money or credit card, try the free version for a little while to get your resume up and get you this prompt. I'm going to put a link to where you can get it from this guy's page. Take it, throw it into your AI, and then it's going to say generally, what do you want? Type it in. Hey, I am going to give you 2 resumes. I'm going to give you 2 resumes because I have 2 different types of jobs. It didn't ask me questions because I gave it so much detailed information. But what I said was, you got 2 resumes. In your case, you may just have 1. That's fine. Maybe you have 2 because you want to reach out to another aspect. But I'm going to give you a resume and I'm going to put it in the system. So let's just go basic and straightforward. I'm going to give you a resume and put it in here. I want to know that if I pick a location, these amenities are near me. I want to make sure that there's something near me. Maybe you need a Buffalo Wild Wings near you. Then you want, put whatever you want in there and say, I want to make sure that if I pick this job and it has me move somewhere, I want to make sure that it has this and this. Maybe you are also a person who wants to stay where you're at and you're not looking to move. I know plenty of people like that, but now you're going to look for a job, but maybe you want to ask to check things about the company. Research the company and find out if they're a great company to work for, if they're good on their employees, if they're supportive of their employees. Maybe you want to have them check more so, like maybe you're stepping up and you want to get up to something more and you say, hey, does it have a great 401k? Does it have great medical and dental and all this kind of stuff? You can ask it questions and have it filter for things. At the very bottom, it'll say, put your prompt here, or put your job description here, your JD. And you paste whatever it is that you found, copy, paste it in, you throw it in, and then it's going to give you all of this stuff right here. It's going to give you everything however you want it to output. And it may not look exactly like this. I've made some modification to make it look like this. And I told it, make it exportable into Google Documents so I can keep a record of it. So that's probably also what you might want to put in your filter. Get AI to rewrite your resume, but reread your resume. Make sure it doesn't make it sound like you should be like the next president of the world. Make sure it doesn't over-promise because you don't want to under-deliver, right? You want to use the right keywords. You want to write all the great terms that the industry is going to like, and they're going to go, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Let's at least bring this guy in so he can tell us where he's at. Because the worst thing you want to do is have all the perfect keywords of stuff you don't even know what it's saying. And then you come into the interview and they're going to be like, okay, hey, talk to me about DB&E. And you're like, DB and who? That's the fastest thing to be like, this guy made up his resume or guy used AI and something happened. So read the resume, make sure it says what it should say, make sure you can talk to what it says, right? Then after the resume, get yourself into the AI side of the house and get it to filter the job descriptions. Right now, it does perfect for me. Copy paste, 2 different things, and then it goes and does it for me. What I'm saying though is that I might consider later down the road, redo it or have it set up in a system so that I can go into a notebook and say, hey, every time I input a job description, take this filter and apply it. So I don't have to keep copying 2. I can just say, hey, always use this filter, but when I put a job description in, do that. So that's a future thing I should probably work on. But this is what I wanted to let you guys know is that here I am. This is where I'm at. I'm there with you if you're watching this in the same situation or you have been in this same situation. I'm actually working on making this a channel related to life experiences, things, and whatever is going on. I have another channel that I do product reviews, and also I have another channel where I have 1,100 subscribers that I do overlanding, Jeep, and kind of stuff like that. I think I'm going to talk about me, what I'm going through, my experiences, what I've learned, and what I'm trying to do to make things easier, better, other avenues of approach in life, things that are going on, whatever could be helpful for you. I hope it is. If it is helpful for you, I would appreciate a like, comment down below, maybe even subscribe if you thought this is something worthwhile and come back and take a look at. I'll keep updating related to my job search and how things are going. Hopefully in the end we'll meet and talk. I'm not sure how more I'm going to evolve this channel because this is my first video. Maybe I'll go ahead and bend it towards podcast or maybe a series of things, or maybe it's just me talking to you guys, throwing a camera up and talking about what I'm doing. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful for you. I appreciate your time. I'm out.